Hello, welcome to Port Misery, the podcast where we try to figure out why everyone in Port Charles is so miserable. It's Tara, y'all. This is this week. I have learned. I don't know if something broke in me, if I have just let go of all types of logic and reason when it comes to the universe of Port Charles. But this week is hilarious to me, and it's hilarious like I have like a renewed sense and purpose in this show. I want to talk about it with people more again, which is interesting because I have like a new outlook on how I like respond. Because I've been like talking to people on Twitter, X, whatever you call it. I don't know what it's called. I don't know. This is the end times, but I've been talking to people about primarily about the like Brooklyn and Lulu situation. Um, and I'm gonna preface this right now. Like, whatever side you fall on this, like, that's the side you fall on, and I'm not judging anyone. Like, my opinions are my opinions, and so if you have different opinions, I respect that. I think, like, for me, like, when it comes to the Brooklyn of it all, and like the teen pregnancy and closed adoptions and women's right to choose and stuff, that is such a personal and real thing to me. um, that I'm gonna over intellectualize that. I'm gonna like talk about the ways in which I feel like her rights and her choices were violated. Not so much by Lulu. I think that like she was just being nosy, but like definitely her mom and her grandmother and like all of that. When it comes to like, I'm sorry, I'm trying to be serious. When it comes to like Rocco Falconeri finding out that he's a stolen embryo baby, like when it comes to that, I don't care about that. Like, I don't care. Is it fucked up? Yes. Is Brooklyn like in the right? Probably not. But I'm gonna stand behind her all the same because who cares? That's such an outlandish, like, what even situation is this? This is such a weird, soapy, like, you have to sit and explain to your child that, like, a crazed woman whose picture now sits on the GH Wall of Heroes, that woman stole you as an embryo, implanted it in herself, and tried to pass you off as another man's baby to keep that man. Like, it's so silly. It's so dumb. And, like, it's so dumb. That, like, sure. Like, how does he not already know this? This should be public record, to be honest. Like, you should be able to Google this about yourself, kid. But whatever. I'm just not. And like there's just sort of this, like I said, everyone's allowed to feel how they feel. And I personally feel that like this weird, because like, I've made several tweets now where I'm like, I'm not going to be shamed for not feeling bad for a fictional kid getting his fictional feelings hurt over finding out that he's a stolen embryo baby. I'm just not going to feel bad about it because it's so crazy. I just want to see the mess unfold. And I feel like there's just like, if you support this, like, I shame, like shame, and I'm like, I'm not gonna be shamed. I refuse. I won't participate in this. And so there's that. This is like, I'm not even naming the episode after that storyline though, because the most ridiculous thing that happened, and we're gonna talk about it, is this is the "Don't Be a Menace to Port Charles" while drinking your juice at your ex-wife's house edition. Because how did Rick Lansing get caught out by juice? Caught out by made up juice. Like, what is dragonberry juice? I've never even heard of this. If it's a real thing, please let me know. But like, it's crazy to me that like a lot of people have been found out in like emotional affair. I don't even think it's like a one-sided emotional affair where he's just making Ava look dumb. Like Liz is like over here just working, trying to get and reintegrate herself back into the soap, while Rick is just being a predator, but like and making Ava look dumb. But like the fact that he got caught out by Juice, you got caught by Juice, my guy. That's crazy. Why are you giving all the bitches in Port Charles the same juice? Like, get Ava some different juice. That's so funny, but we're gonna get to it. We're gonna get to it, but not right now. We can't start there, obviously. We gotta start where with the storylines I cared least about, but still feel the need to talk about in great detail. And so let's start with Black Hospital. I'm sorry, Black Hospital lost this week. Even though, like, and that just shows that there is a higher quality. Like, I know people complain, and you're allowed to complain because that's your opinion. For me, like, even this storyline was still interesting. It just wasn't like other ones were more interesting. But let's get into it. I'm here to announce that attractive biracial football player will now be referred to as unattractive biracial ex football player because snitching on black folks is unattractive. I don't like it. And so, like, I'm here to tell you that. And so, last week, Trina thought that she had banged her man into submission and compliance, and that he would not be taking this internship with Drew Kane. Oh, how wrong she was, unfortunately. He goes to see Drew, and Drew is just like, bruh, this is a made up job. I literally just made up this job because I feel bad because I tried to use you in the Tuskegee project to make myself look bad. And your bacchiotomy didn't work, and so now I'm giving you a made up job. And so, where do you want to work? What do you want to do? Because it's made up. He's like, I just want to stay in Port Charles and be with my girl. He's like, bet. Job title created. Boom. And so, bro just like goes to see Trina, and is like ready to go to work, like in like a tie and everything. He didn't have a jacket, but he's in a tie, and he's ready to go to work. I'm like, okay. Shows up to Trina at the gallery and is like, so, you know how I told you I wasn't going to work for that white man that your family is ops with? She's like, yeah, I bet. He's like, yeah, I decided against that. And she's like, okay. And then he has the nerve to, like, you know how she feels about this. And he's like, so are you, like, happy for me? And she's like, sure, why not? He's like, well, are you happy that I'm staying in Port Charles, or are you happy that, like, I got the job? And she's like, what, bruh, what you want me to say? Like, you know that this man is my family's op, and now you want me to be happy that you're his little sidekick, you're his little henchman? What, you gonna start running cons on my mom with him? Like, which... And he's just like, well, he's never done anything mean to me. He's really nice to me. Sir, what does that have to do with anything? What is that? This is, so Tracy from Sunday Shift, she's a really good friend of mine. We talk all the time. And we were talking about it. She made a tweet on her main where she was essentially like, there is like a cultural component to Black Hospital that is severely missing because, like, this just isn't what people would do. And, like, some people, you know, and once again, if this is how you feel, this is how you feel. But I do question whether or not people who feel this way are actually black. Because, like, here's the thing. Like, it's not that, and I've talked to Tracy, so I feel comfortable saying this. It is not that Tracy was calling Drew racist. Like, she's not calling Drew racist, and she's not calling the writers racist. Like, what she was trying to say is that, like, this is not fundamentally not how black people will operate. This idea that he just wouldn't, like, even everything around the character of unattractive biracial ex-football player is just culturally misaligned. Like, the fact that he has all these things going on, he's having major surgeries, and there are no parents around. You have, like, a white man who is not known to this young man's family, right? Because that's really important. Like, black parents, my mom is black, I was raised by a black woman, and black parents worry. They over worry. They, like, they want to know everything that's going on. I had a conference in Germany, and obviously my mom want to go to Germany because who wouldn't want to go to Germany? But she also wants to be in Germany because if she's not in Germany with me, then she's going to spend the entire time worrying about what the hell's happened to me in Germany. She did that all through my 20s when I was traveling because I was traveled by myself back then. And so now it's, I like that I could take her, but it's also like I like that I'm able to give her that comfort of knowing that, like, I'm not just in this, like, massive white space. alone, and she doesn't know anyone, and she doesn't know anyone she could call and be like, can you look out for her? Can you? That's something that like that's real in our community. Like, and so when we say like this is culturally misaligned, like that's what we mean. That like it's actually crazy that you have this young man just being so callous to the situation that Portia, like, they're doing this. He knows that they're doing this because Drew has something on Portia. He's blackmailing Portia. So, like, even the whole idea of, like, well, he's been really nice to me, you know that he blackmails black women. That he's literally holding something over a black woman's head, and you don't find that any way suspicious? That's not a red flag to you? And I think that there are ways to write this character. Once again, conversations with Tracy. Um, if you wanted to, if they had written him as like really politically savvy, he, you know, he's got eyes. He's trying to get his family up out of something. Like, he doesn't even care about Drew. He's literally just doing this for, you know, for the get ahead. And so like Drew cannot fail. Like if Drew fails, he fails. Like I can understand that. But just out of the, like, some goodness of my heart shit, that's just, it reads awkward and weird, and it's a lot of reasons why people don't want this young man with Trina no more, because you didn't even give him real reasons to betray her entire family. But like, I'll get to it in a second. So he's pretty much like, I'm taking this job, support me. She's like, cool. She calls Curtis to come and drops that she knows that they're hiring a sex worker, or not, you know, they're gonna try and find a sex worker and pay her to lie on Drew. And so she's like, to her credit, she's like, how can I help? How can I help find this sex worker to help frame this white man? I don't care. Curtis, rightfully as a parent, is like, nah, I'm not gonna have you in this. That's just crazy. And to be honest, just like let Kai do whatever he wants, because like if we get too up on that, then Drew's gonna pull him in further. Like, let's let that shit happen. But like, apparently that's a mistake, since like, and I'm gonna get into it in a different story, but there's a press conference, and at the it does not go well for Drew. And Drew has this like, oh my God, woe is me. I can't marry Willow. I can't help my constituents. When has Drew ever helped his constituents? He has literally been at war with the Quartermains and the Corinthos this entire time. He's literally been like sleeping with his nephew's wife and trying to dig up dead people and throw their bodies on a trash heap. Like, he hasn't been helping his constituents. Like, but oh my God, he's so nice. And so unattractive biracial ex football player tells him about Portia and Curtis's plan to find the sex worker and like pay her off, and it's, get him out of there. Trash, unfortunately. Sorry, young man. You had a great run, but we're done now. And so that's Trina's little portion of Black Hospital. Now let's go to Curtis versus Jurdis, now featuring attractive biracial doctor. Are we doing a couple swap? It's like, it. Jordan and Curtis used to be married. Then Portia showed up, and Jordan lied one time, and Curtis was like, well, I want to date this black woman now, marry her. And now she's lied to him, and now he wants to date Jordan again and marry her. I'm tired. I'm tired. And I feel like the only way this works is if you have attractive biracial doctor waiting in the wings for Portia. But then I'm not sure that he's here for Portia. And so, because they have him with so many people, you know, he's making eyes at Elizabeth. He's running up on Lulu. He's there for Willow. And so he could go so many different places. I don't know that he's 100% there for Portia. And also, this is a tired storyline. This is tired. And there's so many things I could speak on it that make me uncomfortable, but we're not going to do that. I like this to be a more jovial time. And so let's talk about it. So Curtis is just at the pool. He works so much. It's so funny because he's in a job he doesn't deserve. But like he decides to take a break. He's gonna be at the pool, and who's at the pool? Jordan, looking fine because Tanisha's fine as hell. And they start like they give him this very weird scene where they just talk about shit from the off-screen extended universe because we can't talk about the actual Jurdis relationship we watched on screen because it wasn't that great. It was them being poor. It was them dealing with racism. It was Jordan getting smashed by Drew's car, having to have like a stolen serial killer kidney transplant, and then being poor, just dirt poor after that because they're too proud to let the actual millionaire who smashed her kidneys up with a car, who's their bestie, now they're op, but back then their bestie Drew, pay for the shit. The shit was wild. Like, we can't talk about that. So we gotta talk about off-screen stuff from Baltimore when they were, you know, on like that Baltimore cop show, and then ooh, Jordan was undercover. What are we doing here? But at the exact same time, Portia is with attracted biracial doctor at the hospital, and he's just running around that locker room. I love that GH just got a co-gendered locker room. Like there's just it's a male, both men and women can be in there, and they just be naked in there. They just don't care except when they get shot. Oh my god! Like for a hospital that has a co-gendered freaking like locker room, why are they always so shocked to see naked people in it? They're like, oh my god, I wasn't expecting you. And then like he's like, I didn't think anyone's in here, that's why I got naked. But she's like, I don't want to go home, all the marriage problems. And he's like, well, you shouldn't be working too much because you're chief of staff. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to the pool. So they go to the pool. While they see Jordan and Curtis talking about the off-screen extended universe. But then Curtis gets the phone call from Trina. He leaves. He doesn't even see Portia. He's just like, bye, Jordan. Thanks for hanging out with me, talking about shit nobody from this audience ever saw. Portia immediately chooses violence. She's like, attracted biracial doctor. Did that look weird? That should look weird, right? What the hell? And he's like, I'm not gonna lie, it didn't look great. It didn't look great. And so she runs up on Jordan like, bitch, what are you doing? What are you doing? I know that I did this exact same thing to you 3 years ago, but what the fuck, bitch? How dare you? And so, Jordan's like, girl, I don't know. What are you talking about? I'm so confused. I'm just going to say, I know that some people are team Jordan, like, oh, Portia has no right. I'm here to let you know I'm team Portia. Bitch, what the hell? Don't act stupid. Don't act but they get into it. Attracted biracial doctor got to break it up. Apparently Portia threw a drink at Jordan off screen because throwing drinks at black women in real life, you can't be doing that. You cannot be doing that. The edges will not allow for that kind of behavior. And like that's another, like, this is what I mean when I say like there's a cultural component missing sometimes from the writer's room, because like black women don't throw drinks at each other, because like there's no need to ruin a bitch's silk press just because you feel type of way. Like they'll just fight, because you could fix that, like if no liquid is involved, but whatever. They fight. Isaiah is like, you gotta go. Attracted biracial doctor is like, Portia, you gotta go. He's like Maxie last week with Brooklyn. Like, you can't be throwing drinks on people. You're the chief of staff. You gotta save your reputation, girl. Get out of here. She leaves. Jordan's like, oh my god, thank you so much. He's like, whoa, calm it down. I did not do that for you. I did that for her because she can't be doing that. She can't be looking crazy. What the hell are you doing? Like, what's this? What's going on? Now, I don't necessarily agree with what he said. Sorry, gotta take a drink. I don't necessarily agree with what he said, but I'm on his side, so fuck it. He's like, well, I thought you couldn't be with me because of white East African warlord, but maybe it's because of Curtis. Maybe it is, bruh. That's not, who cares? But also, what are we doing with this Jurdis versus Purtis forever triangle? I'm sick of it. But Jordan goes to see her bestie Anna because that's the only person she could trust, and she's like, "Ooh, girl, what should I do? Because my heart, but my head." Anna essentially is like, "Girl, be a slut, do whatever you want, fuck Portia." Just deep in her 1980s Anna Devane, I'll take your man era. Um, I kind of stand the behavior. It was the only time during the episode or during this week I was on Jordan's side because Anna Devane is just that powerful. When she tells you to go be a slut and do whatever you want, what else can you do? What else can you do? I heard it from the top. And so she goes to do that. Portia is already at Curtis's office and she's like, "Can we fix this?" And, Curtis is doing the same bullshit he been doing. Like, "Oh, I don't know. I'm busy. Like, I gotta talk about this later." Portia is finally like, "Well, can you stop being a little bitch?" And Curtis is like, "Huh?" And she just reads him for filth, as she should. She's just like, "I don't know why you talking to me like I'm some big liar. Oh, I lied to you and now you don't know. You lied to me. The whole reason any of this is happening is because you decided to go to war with Drew and you didn't tell me. And so he's using me to get to you. So this is your fault. Actually, this is your fault." Exactly, Portia. Exactly. And for a second, it kind of works because Curtis is like, "Ooh, I'm into this. I'm into whatever's happening right now." And they start making out on the desk. Jordan walks in, feels some type of way, freeze frame it because Portia's looking at her like, "Yeah, bitch. Yeah, you really saw it." And like I said, this is the least interesting story to me, and I was still entertained. I was still entertained, so I'll take it. Um, but let's move past it. Let's move to a different story. We have the city of Port Charles versus homophobic Maria Santos. This edged in ahead of Black Hospital just because of how it ended. And the crazy batshit moment where like you realize that homophobic Maria Santos that they're just trashing her character before they take her out. She may not die during Pride Month. It's gonna make me very upset. I need her to die on Monday. Monday is the last day of June. She cannot die in July. It cannot happen. Stop it. But homophobic Maria Santos is crashing out, y'all. Um, she, as we know, she is supposedly moving to Belize, which sounds like a euphemism for murdering someone. I'm not gonna lie. It sounds like what you tell someone when they ask what happened to that witness who disappeared, and you're like, "Oh, I don't know. I heard she moved to Belize." Because what is happening? But homophobic Sunny telling everybody that homophobic Maria Santos gonna move to Belize. Homophobic Maria Santos goes to see Sunny, and she's like, "I don't know if I want to move to Belize. Like, what the hell is in Belize?" Sunny is like, "Bitch, no. Don't do that. Don't do that. You knew better than this. Like, it's not my fault that you are too good at your job and you found where the mob money and the coffee money connect. I don't care about clerical errors. This is not my fault. This is your fault." Even though apparently it's not her fault because she told Brooklyn that like it was a clerical error from the financial people, so it's their fault. But whatever. He's like, "Bitch, it's your fault. You gotta go. You were drinking and driving. That's not my fault." Um, she's like, "I just feel like I'm being abandoned. Are you abandoning me?" He's like, "I am not abandoning you. We will be friends for life. I remember the time you lied on the stand for my daughter. Oh, what a moment I will never forget." She, and this is why it edged out Black Hospital. This is why it edged it out. She takes him saying that he will never abandon her as him telling her that he's going to move to Belize. How did she get there? And she's telling everybody, like, "Me and Sonny are going to move to Belize. It's going to be great. We're moving to Belize." Oh my God. It is so funny. She goes to see her son, Latino son, and she's, for some reason, she's just like, "You're done with me now. You're not going to have to worry about me anymore. If you never see me again, just know I always loved you." He's like, "Girl, what are you talking about?" What are you talking about? I'm literally gonna see you on Monday. Like, what do you mean I would never see you again? What the fuck are you talking about? She then tells him that her and Sonny are moving to Belize. He is like, girl, what are you talking about? Like, that sounds like a euphemism for murder. Like, he's gonna murder you, girl. Like, you not moving to Belize. She's like, no, we love each other. We're moving to Belize. Girl, where did you get this? Where is it the alcohol? Is that what's happening? Because they've just decided her being an alcoholic is like a chief personality trait right next to being homophobic. She's drunk, homophobic Maria Santos now. Like, because she's just constantly drunk. And so her and her son are arguing. Now, Lucas is across town because Lucas dates Latino's son. Latino's son had called him up when he was at work, and he was like, because, he's romancing Lucas. He's like, I want to take you to the pool. I want to watch the sunset with you. Like, we about to do it. Lucas is like, bet, I'm on my way. So he is like waiting at the pool while Latino's son is listening to his mom tell him about how she about to live this beautiful life in Belize with a mobster. Lulu runs up on Lucas and is like, I don't think you should date Latino's son because his dad is a white East African warlord and he kidnapped my brother and I don't like him. Now, this is one of the few things that me and Lulu actually agree on. And to Lucas's credit, he was like, girl, isn't your baby daddy a terrorist that's in jail right now? Don't talk to me about this. And I know some of y'all gonna be like, well, she didn't choose for Valentine to be her baby daddy. She's got 2 stolen embryo babies. Well, the fact still remains that he is. He is her baby daddy. And Lucas rightfully points out that, like, how would you feel if people judged your daughter based off of her terrorist daddy? How would you feel about that? And so Lulu kind of like, you do kind of checkmate me there. And so, I liked it. It is funny because Lucas did seem kind of like he was kind of trying to warn Liz off of Rick later in the week. But anyone who makes Lulu's face crack is a friend of mine, so I'll take it. But Lucas is like, let me get out of here because Latino's son ain't clearly not coming. Something going down. So Lucas goes to the office. He walks in on homophobe Maria Santos and Latino's son looking heated. He's like, uh-oh. She's like, I can't even talk to you when you're like this, and tries to leave. He's like, if you leave, we're done. I'm not your attorney anymore. Whatever happens, happens. And she's just like, bet, leaves. Lucas is like, what's going on? He's like, this bitch is crazy. She thinks she moving to Belize with Sonny Corinthos. Lucas is like, Sonny got like 10 baby mamas and 1,800 kids. Like, he not leaving Port Charles. What we talking about? Latino's son is like, I know. Belize sounds like he about to murder my mom. I gotta call the police. Lucas is like, don't do that. We don't do that here in Port Charles. We don't call the police on family. You might just have to let this play out. I don't think Sonny's gonna murder her. Famous last words, because she's definitely getting murdered. Whether or not Sonny does it, I don't think he is gonna do it, but like, we'll see, because when I get there, we'll see. But he decides not to call the police, even though he is worried about being an accessory. Because, like, it could look like he set up this deal as, like, a ploy while Sonny arranged for her to leave the country. And so, he does have reasons to worry, but Lucas is like, nah, be cool. And like I said, to be honest, Sonny does sound like he about to murder her. Like, even the way he be talking. Like, he had a conversation with Carly where they were like, oh my God, our new grandbaby, our family's so happy. And he's like, oh, so the DA's investigating me. She's like, bitch, why? He's like, don't even trip. It's some homophobe Maria Santos shit, but I'm taking care of it. I'm about to take care of that bitch. Don't even worry. And she kind of looks at him like, what does that mean? What you mean you gonna take care of it? Because he didn't tell her about Belize. But like I said, even if he was like, it's fine, I'm sending her to Belize, it would still sound crazy. It would sound crazy for him to say this. Why are you saying this? Like, what does that mean? But we know he's not gonna kill her because this is General Hospital, but it does sound like he is. Um, but homophobic Maria Santos, she decides to go to Windermere, all the way over on Spoon Island, to go see White East African Warlord for some reason. And she's just like, I need you to make sure that our son doesn't get in your evil White East African Warlord business, and you turned him against me, and blah, blah, blah. And he's just like, girl, he's against you because you're a homophobe and he's a homosexual man. What you talking about? You can pretend it's about me being a fucking warlord, but it's like you a homophobe. He's gay. Y'all don't mix. You see the problem? Like, change your ways. She's all, like I said, she's drunk, and that's like a chief personality trait for her. She's like, whatever, bitch, leaves. He like goes off on the parapet and like looks at her menacingly. So I don't know what's about to happen. I don't know what's about to happen. Because she not dead. She make it. She alive. Because I really was like, this one week she gonna get got. She about to get got. She gonna die. She did not die. I was like, well, I was wrong. She, no, the DA. So the DA, who is White East African Warlord's in real life wife, is always so funny to me. She want to play on the softball team so she can make LinkedIn connections. That shit is so funny to me. This is 2025. We're not playing softball to make connections anymore. But she's like, I'm on the softball team, but the softball team plays Corinthos Coffee. And so Sunny clearly sent her a glove because she has some little kid glove. It looked like she went to her like eBay to find like an old Toys R Us plastic glove. It was just not a cute glove. And so Sunny buys her some overpriced leather glove. She knows it's him. Because who else gonna do that? Why the fuck would they do it? So she comes over like, bro, what are you doing? What is this? Sunny's like, I didn't send you that shit. That shit looks nice as hell, though. I would use it because your glove fucking sucks. She's like, that could seem like a bribe. And like, I don't want your glove. And blah, 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 blah. But her visit kind of shakes him because he's like, ooh, she's harder to romance than I thought. Because Sonny Corinthos is back in his romancing DA's era. It's an oldie but a goodie. We're just gonna see how it flies. Why not make Ava LaRue's character a district attorney or something like that? Why not have her in this role? Why make her a homophobe? We'll never know because she about to get got. But before homophobe Maria Santos flies off into the sunset with her love, Sonny Corinthos, to the glorious land of Belize, she calls Brooklyn and she's like, here's what's good. Deception's fucked. Sonny's mob money is entangled in it, and so y'all fucked. Brooklyn's like, what the hell? Like, it's supposed to be the money for the record label, and that shit was good. I looked at that shit. I made sure. She's like, yeah, but y'all needed more money because you were in your brokey era, and so he gave some more money, and there was like some miscommunication, some wires got switched, and you got my money, and you weren't supposed to get my money. I'm sorry, girl. Brooklyn is like, shit, what the fuck? Like, and why are you telling me this now? She's just, by the way, Maria Santos is just day drinking. Drunk homophobe Maria Santos is just in her, she invited her in the morning, in the daylight, to drink in her face and tell her that her company is about to go under. It's about to have RICO violation. She's just like, sorry, girl. Brooklyn's like, okay, I gotta go. Because she's about to go to the christening. The christening for that stocked affair baby that Michael and Sasha had. But then the guard for Sonny shows up. And so Sonny, when the DA came, that freaked him out. He was like, I gotta disappear this bitch now. So he sends one of his little guards over. Guard knock on the door like, hey girl, we about to go, let's go. She's like, oh, I thought we weren't leaving till tonight. Like, what's going on? Sonny here? He's like, no. Can you get your shit? Can we go? Because we late. Let's go. She's like, well, where's Sonny? He's like, he's at his granddaughter's christening. What you bitch, get your shit. Like, hurry up. She's like, well, I could just, if he's going later, I could just take the red eye with him. Like, we'll just go together. He's just like, girl, I don't know what you heard, who you been talking to, but that man not going anywhere with you. His family's here. He's at his newborn granddaughter's christening. You think he about to leave his baby granddaughter to go hang out on the beach with your homophobic ass? What you talking about? And so she's just like, okay. And like her whole, like, the bottom of her reality just falls out. But once again, I don't know how she came to this reality. Well, how do you get here? What are you talking about? But whatever. She's just like, I have to pack my stuff. He's like, cool, I'm gonna go tell the pilot because we gotta go. Um, she just starts crashing out. She just crashes the fuck out. Like, did I just make it up? What's going on? Da, 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 da. And remember, she's drunk. And so she decides to go to the christening to cuss Sonny out and tell him that he ain't shit for backing out of a relationship that they were not in, that she just made up in her own mind this week. And so, it's so funny. So that's Homophobe Maria Santos. This is probably the best she's ever been used because I am entertained. But let's move past it. Let's go to the storyline that the episode is named after. It's not the best storyline, but I could not name it that. Christina's hospital. What's happening in Christina's hospital? Like, did Christina Corinthos Davis like travel to the land of Oz and ask the wizard for a brain? Because why is she kind of cooking this week? Like, she's kind of cooking. If you go to my Twitter page, my pinned tweet says that, like, I will applaud characters I hate if they do cool shit. And so I actually have to apologize to Christina Corinthos Davis. Because last week, I was like, why the fuck didn't she just narc out Rick immediately? But she explained herself this week. Let's get into it. So Christina goes to see, or no, Liz goes to see Alexis. Alexis, like, you want to do that? She's like, nah. Oh yeah, that happened last week. So Christina goes to see her mom. And Alexis is like, Elizabeth don't want to do a lawsuit, so you're good. Don't even worry about that. Christina's like, yeah, I know she don't want to do a lawsuit because she already fucking knows what I did. Like, she knows that it's not the car's fault. She know I did it. Alexis, like me, because apparently I'm dumb like Alexis, and that hurts me the most. But Alexis, like me, is like, why the fuck wouldn't you just narc out Rick? If Elizabeth knows, like, why we gotta do a honeypot and put Elizabeth in some shit she don't need to? She doing us a favor by not narking you out. So why would we put her in the honeypot? Christina is like, are you dumb? Like, have you fallen on your head? Did you smack your head on the pavement before you woke up this morning? Like, before you came into work? If you narc out Rick to Elizabeth, that man's gonna crash out. That man's gonna put us all in jail. You gonna be in jail. I'm gonna be in jail. He gonna be in jail. Ava's gonna be in jail. We're all gonna be in jail. Because what the fuck does he have to lose at that point if Elizabeth's out here saying he ain't shit and telling everybody that he blackmailing you? What the fuck are you talking about? And you know what? You right, Christina. One more drink. You absolutely right. I apologize. That makes complete sense. I was wrong. I admit when I'm wrong. Because Rick 100,000% will crash out if they did that. And so Christina's like, honeypot continues. Like, put up or shut up, mom. And now I'm like, let Christina drive. Let her drive it, Alexis, because you're just giving away a baby's money. That's your plan. To embezzle a baby's money. She's making moves. She's being a Corinthos. So let's talk about. It's so funny. Let's talk about Ava and the Jews. And I have to apologize to Britt because I was at her spaces on Thursday and I said that this happened in a different order, but she was 100% right that it happened first. So I apologize, Britt, when you listen to this. Love you. And so Laura goes to see Ava on some like, hey girl, just checking up on you. We friends. Want to see if you're okay. Ava's like, yeah, girl, I'm good. You know, I've had an infusion of cash. Like, not telling her that she's currently stealing money from Laura's grandson. So fucking funny. That's when that shit cracks. It's gonna be so funny. People gonna be mad. People have opinions about this. But Ava's like, oh girl, I'm having like the photo arc exhibit again because we're doing a repeat Would you like to come to it? Laura's like, girl, I am so busy. I am so busy. But, like, maybe I could give the ticket to Elizabeth. Like, Liz loves art. Why would we invite Elizabeth? Ava is like, okay, sure. Yeah, let's invite that whole Elizabeth. Like, Laura is like, Liz just loves art so much because Lucky left. I just want to, or she didn't say Lucky left. Let me go back. Excuse me. Let me back it up. She's Liz loves art so much, and I just want to do something nice for Liz because Liz is so great. Ava's like, okay, I get it. I don't need the rundown of why Elizabeth needs a ticket. She can have a ticket. It's fine. And like Ava picks up some juice, and Laura's like, oh, what kind of juice is that? That juice looks good. Ava's like, this is dragonberry juice. Rick gave it to me. It's so good. Laura's like, oh my god, he must be is he the spokesperson for this juice? Because he's passing it around town. Because I just saw Elizabeth with some juice when Rick was there with Elizabeth. And so Ava's like, oh, okay, yeah, that's cool, great. Laura leaves. Ava immediately starts making phone calls. She's just like, every time Rick said he was supposed to be someplace else, where was he? She finds out that pretty much every time he said he was supposed to be out of town or with a client or doing something else, he was busy trying to romance Elizabeth. So Ava's pissed. At the same time, like I said, Christina using her new brain, she decides to like call Cody up. Cody, come over, honeypot on, and now I want you to go tell Ava that Lucky is gone. He's like, that's gonna cost extra. She's like, bitch, no it doesn't. Stop being a brokey. I don't like that. Why is she kind of eating this week? I don't think it will continue, as she will get done once more, but this week I was kind of like, let her cook. Cody's like, okay, bet. He goes to the gallery. He has such a cute interaction with Ava. Because he's just like, he comes in and all the art's off the wall because she's having the photo art stuff brought in. And he's like, oh, what happened to the art? Or is this the art? Like, panicked. And that's me. That's me too with art. Like, I'm literally getting a PhD in history, but I'm so bad with art. And so I chuckled when he was like, is this the art? And she was like, nah, bruh. what are you talking about? No. Like, I have some shit coming in. And she gets a phone call and she finds out that like the person who usually hangs her art isn't gonna be able to do it. He had an emergency. I don't know why. Like, there's not a company that does it. Usually it's like the shipping people would come and hang that shit. But I don't know. I could be wrong. I'm not an art person, to be honest, so don't quote me on that. But she's like, oh my god, I don't have anyone to hang this art. Cody's like, I'll hang the art. How hard is it to hang art? And you know, I might be a little reckless and wild, but I haven't been arrested since the last time I punched someone in the face. And Ava's like, who'd you punch in the face? And he's like, the mayor's son. And she's like, why are you punching Lucky Spencer in the face? And he's like, I was drunk. And it don't even matter because he forgave me and he's gone. He went back to Africa City, Africa. Now, I don't know if this is a mistake or if Christina just not in the know, but he did not go to Africa City, Africa. He took his son to Europe. But whatever. I'll let it slide. I'm fine with it. Ava's like, oh, great. Lucky is in Africa City, Africa. But also, you know, she's more open. Like Christina said, now she's more open to Cody. And it does seem like he kind of like her too. And why are they kind of cute? Like, why am I... They just took the guy who plays Cody off of contract and put him on, like, reoccurring. And I'm like, but this is kind of cute. Why you do this now? This is weird. What's happening? But, whatever. We'll see what happens. Because, like, I can't see... Unless they really invest in this, and it doesn't seem like they're going to because the guy who plays Cody is now on reoccurring. I can't see Abel getting past Christina paying him to do this. It just doesn't seem like in her character to be like, oh, I know that you were paid to be with me, but now I trust that you actually want to be with me. I feel like she would just always be like, I don't trust you, get out of my face. But that happened. Rick, on the other hand, he runs into Liz when he comes to see Martin. And she's like, "Why are you stalking me? What's going on?" And he's like, "I'm not stalking you. I'm here to see a client." And she's like, "Oh, my bad. I didn't mean to, I didn't mean to assume." And then he goes to see Martin, but then comes back and immediately starts stalking her. And like when he's with Martin, Lucas is just like, "So you know that man's been stalking you, right?" Like everyone's talking about it. She's like, "Oh my god, do people think I want to be with Rick?" He's like, "No, people just been talking about him just being here all the time. Like, why are you here? But like, do you want to be with Rick? I thought he was with Ava." And Liz is so funny. I don't even care what Ava does to Liz at this point because she is so funny. Lucas says, "I thought Rick was with Ava." And, Liz is like, "She is. But, I see things that I like. But then I also, girl, what are you talking about? That man is seeing somebody." I love how she just like, I could take her man. I could take Ava's man if I wanted him. If I decided I like Rick because he's a good person, I could have him. And so at that point, all's fair. Because you set the that's the thing. They really, this week is like, bitch, I'll do what I want. Like, you step it, if if you take it there, I'm taking it further. That's the theme of Port Charles, or well, the city of Port Charles, but of General Hospital right now, with Brooklyn and Lulu, with Jordan and Portia, with Ava and Liz. Because like, what you mean? There you have things that you like, but it's such a funny scene because she had to be like, "the things he does for us," and she put it in quotation marks. She's literally talking about the panic room with Rick locked Carly in the panic room was still Morgan. Is so funny. This is why I don't feel bad about stolen embryo shenanigans, because this is the type of, it falls under that. Like, stolen embryo shenanigans falls under panic room levels of absurdity in Port Charles. So I'm not gonna participate in this debate. But like essentially Lucas and Liz lament their love of trash men, aka Brad and Rick. But that's pretty much Christina's hospital. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Let's go over to Brooklyn decides to torture a child, and Lulu decides to adopt another one hospital. BLQ versus Brooklyn Hospital is it almost was the fave, but for some reason the Drillo of it all, y'all know. We'll get to it. Brooklyn's in both stories. So Brooklyn has decided to dig up dirt on Britt Westbourne. Excuse me. And it's as divisive to the audience as Lulu looking for her child was. Like, people, that's the main reason I'm not going, like, I'm not coming for anyone. I'm not telling anyone they're wrong. Because obviously, when the shoe was on the other foot, I had a lot of opinions. And there are people like, well, Dante has the right to know, or yada, yada, yada. And I disagreed with all those opinions. But, I agree with people's right to have them. People disagree with Brooklyn. I don't. I'm like, go harder, do it more. But, and I'll tell you why. So, one of the things I want to say, though, is that they're also setting this up. They're not even having anyone really commit. So Lulu didn't just, like, run up on Gio and tell him that Brooklyn and Dante were his parents. Like, he overheard it. And they essentially, because she was careless with that information and where she revealed it, essentially. And that's what they're having Brooklyn do with Rocco. That, like, she has this information, she's careless with it, and they're about to happen upon it, which is another reason why I'm not going to be mad. Because, like, you literally had Lulu do the same thing, and you're trying to say that that's a reasonable excuse to give somebody when that happens. And so, like, sure, I'll use it for the character that I actually like. But BLQ has decided to dig up dirt about Britt Westbourne stealing Dante and Lulu's embryo and essentially giving birth to Rocco. He has a completely different birth certificate. They had to have it amended. And so, this is messy. And I mean, I could be like, it's not earth-shattering the same way that Gio's was, but I mean, it's weird. It's weird to think that, like, you were in that situation as a child, but it's not like he's learning, unless they actually cave and and, retcon his parentage, which I don't think they would do, but like it's weird. It's a weird situation to throw on a kid. I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying it's a soap, and I'll allow it. But Latino son brings Brooklyn Rocco's OG birth certificate. And they have like a whole flashback where the Lulu's like, I don't lie to my kids. I don't keep earth shattering things. And so obviously they're implying that Rocco does not know about this. When Dante comes in to yell at her some more. And so Latino son's like, I'm going to leave. And she's like, hurry up and yell at me, bruh, because I got shit to do. Like, I got work I got to get done. So whatever you got to say, just say it. He's like, nah, I don't want to do that. I'm not here to yell at you. He also says he's not ready to forgive Chaylin. Bruh, they don't need your forgiveness. You can keep your forgiveness. But whatever. She's like, oh, okay, whatever. What do you want to do? He's like, we got to get Gio to talk to us. She's like, he's a grown man, so we got to give him some space and let him talk to us when he wants to talk to us. He's like, bet. And then immediately does not give him space. Just immediately runs up on him at the Metrocorp pool like, hey, Gio, I know that I've never shown any interest in you or your life ever. And I don't care about music. But I just bought like season tickets to the opera for you, me, Rocco, and Charlotte. Would you like to come with us? And he's like, he's at work, so he's polite, but he's like, no, I don't want to do that. And leaves. And then Dante is so funny. Dante goes to apologize to Jason for calling him a deadbeat, and then asks him advice on how he could be more of a deadbeat for his son, because that's what he needs. And Jason's like, to be honest, you just got to put several people in your job ahead of your child. That's how I've done it all these years. But that happened. The very funny, cute part about this story is we get Rocco and Danny working at the Metrocorp pool, being like the worst pool boys you've ever seen in your whole life. Gio's their supervisor, which that doesn't even make sense to me, because why is the lifeguard the supervisor? Like, these should be different departments. But whatever, they're awful at this job. They're just so bad at it. They're like giving people dirty towels. They're like trying to swim. Are they serving alcohol? Because homophobe Maria Santos be getting trashed at the Metrocorp pools, and they were serving drinks. But like, I will choose to believe that they're bringing non-alcoholic drinks to clients, and the people who want alcohol got to go to the bar. But whatever. They're trying to swim after work. They're like, well, we can just jump in the pool. Everybody's like, bruh, y'all live in a mansion. What you talking about? You got a pool at home. You got a lake. Like, go home. They're like, what if we push each other in the pool? Lulu and Tracy are there, and they're like, bruh, let's go. Come on. Like, so Tracy takes them home. At home, BLQ, Brooklyn's there. She's reading, Rocco's OG birth certificate, when the one that says Ben Westbourne on it. And they come home, and I guess she's like, oh my, he's just a babe, and decides she don't want to do it. But then she just leaves the info in the middle of the living room where anyone can find it. And of course, Danny and Rocco find it. And so they have it. At the same time, back at the pool, Gio, and he ends up having to defend Lulu's honor from a drunk person who, drunkenly falls into the pool, and then they gotta save him off screen. So much shit happening off screen. Lots of action happening in the off screen extended universe this week. We're getting stories about the off screen extended universe, people getting drinks thrown on them in the off screen extended universe, and now people are almost dying and having to save people's lives in the off screen extended universe. It's just getting so much work, so much action. But they save this man, and then they bond over that, and they like put their feet in the pool, all while BLQ looks on at her literal enemy having the relationship she cannot with her son. And at that point, I was like, do whatever you gotta do, Brooklyn. Do whatever you were gonna do it 10 times harder. Because, bitch, what the fuck? What are you doing? Get away. Why didn't you take your son home when he was acting a fool, trying to throw his stepbrother in the pool? What? What are we doing? Why are you doing this? And like, it was, and this is what I'm going to say, because people are like, if you saw it this way, you're nasty. I'm here to tell you right now, it was a weird framing to have them dangling their feet in the pool, and the camera angles were weird, and the music was weird, and the situation was weird. It should not have happened. It should not have happened. I'm not saying like they shouldn't have filmed it, we shouldn't have seen it. I'm just saying like Lulu should not be doing that because it looks bad either way. Whatever way you're taking it, it looked bad. It looked bad. And so, whatever, Brooklyn, at this point, do what you gotta do. Because now you're actively, like, this is not Brooklyn's friend. This is not somebody who's like, oh, you know what you should do? You should talk to your parents. She's not even talking to Dante. I can see if she's like, listen, I understand that you mad at that hoe, because I don't fuck with her either. But your dad is a good person. And I know that he, he came at you real foul, real sideways. I told him about that. I told him about himself. Several people had told him about himself. I think you should give him a chance. I can see that. She's not even doing that. She just kikiing with him. She just kikiing with this 22-year-old son of her ex-husband and her literal childhood op. Girl, what are you doing? Girl, what are you doing? I will punch you in the face. And so that's how I feel about that. If you feel a different way, you are allowed to feel that way. I am not offended at all. That's just how I see it, to be honest. But let's move on. Let's move on to the last story. Last story I'm gonna talk about. So it's Drillo and their terrible, no good, very bad days they were having this week. Because they suck. Honestly, they're awful. They're terrible people. They have no consideration for anyone but themselves. Like, even like literally the only excuse people have to give Willow her kids back is that she's sad. Like, oh, look at Willow, look how sad she is. She's so sad. Someone should give her them kids back. No, they shouldn't. No, I'm not saying she needs to be running around partying with her kids, but you should at least be able to be sane without your kids. Like, why are you acting all shocked that people don't agree with your raggedy ass choices? Stop. And then she's doubling down on all the raggedy ass choices people don't agree with. And like, yes, they gave us the scene where it's like, well, it's white East African warlord, he's the one doing it. I understand that. Nobody on the show knows that yet. Everybody's operating on Willow is raggedy and has been raggedy. And like, the reason why people are accepting this so hard is because no one disagrees with anything the judge said. It was all reasonable. Like, the only thing they're implying is that the custody arrangement is not reasonable. And so, like, because it could have been like, well, like, we're going to give Michael primary custody and Willow has to have, like, supervised visits. It's crazy that she didn't get anything. And so, like, that's what they're saying. They're not saying that, like, oh, well, and then, like, on top of it, she's a zombie. Right? Like, she shouldn't have her kids, like, to be honest. Not right now, because she sucks. But let's get to it. Let's do the press conference. You know what? Fuck it. Let's do the christening. Just get out the way, and then we'll end with the press conference. Like, I'm gonna redo my own notes in real time. And so, Sasha is being yellow wallpapered. Sasha is being driven mad. She will be in Shady Brook before Christina or Willow. That's crazy. I did not see that coming. Because, like, 2-3 weeks ago, maybe a month ago, I was like, they're going to Shady Brook Christina. Because she's crazy. She's cutting brake lines. She can't be doing that. Then, like, 2 weeks ago, I was like, we're going to have to Shady Brook Willow. Because she's crazy. She's, like, flipping out in courtrooms, cussing out judges. Can't be doing that. And now it seems like we're going to have to Shady Brook Sasha because they are driving her mad by just like stalking this woman's baby. Someone's moving the baby. They're dressing the baby. They're doing all sorts of weird things. And everybody's just dismissing Sasha like, girl, it's pregnancy brain. How is Sasha the only person watching this baby? Like, no one knows that she was in a yellow onesie. Okay, whatever. Let's talk about it. So Sasha decides to have Felicia and Jason be her baby's godparents. And I think that that is very apt because, if anything, Felicia Jones, Scorpio, I cannot remember her original name. I'm not going to look it up. But Felicia Scorpio knows a thing or two about having secret babies with your exes. So she is a very apt person to call on. And Jason knows a thing or two about claiming babies that aren't his. And so that is what happened in both these situations that produced said affair baby. And so it makes sense that she picked those two. But she calls Felicia over and tells her, yeah, you've been so, so good to me. You're just the family, the mother I never had. I'm just so, so proud. Where is Maxie Jones to hear this? Because Felicia famously walked out on both of her daughters for some dick. Famously. And so, but Sasha thinks she's the greatest mother who ever lived. Sure, yeah. Okay. We'll go with it. And so, she is talking about, oh, it's great having a new baby. Super happy about having this baby. Oh, I have pregnancy brain though. I put the milk in the cabinet. Now we can't have milk in the tea. So much pregnancy brain. So they're trying to set up that Sasha got pregnancy brain while her baby's being stocked and all this shit is happening. So while she's talking to Felicia, the stalker goes into the baby room. Because this baby is just left alone. They just be leaving the baby alone in the room all day. Like, I don't have kids, but I have friends who have kids. And, like, their babies are usually with them. Even during the day when they have guests. Because it's a baby. But no. We got to leave this baby alone. The baby needs alone time. And so the baby is alone. And she had put the baby down facing away from the door with a yellow onesie. Remember that. And so the stalker comes in, puts the baby in a pink onesie, faces her towards the door. Sasha comes back, what the hell? That's not how I have my baby. She asks around, everyone's like, I didn't move that baby. But also, nothing probably happened. She ends up telling Cody about it, because it was the day of the christening. And, Felicia kind of ran up on her, like, why didn't you tell me about Jason? And she's like, I couldn't. And she's like, oh my God, you're such a good mother. Sure, okay. But essentially, Cody, she tells Cody about what happened. Like, oh, this is very, very weird that these things are happening. And he's just like, girl, it's probably nothing. It's probably nothing. Just dismisses all of it. And so Sasha's she's being yellow wallpapered. We'll see between Christina, Willow, and Sasha, who do y'all think gets Shady Brook first? That's what I'm asking. But then let's go to Willow. So Willow is an idiot still. And she told Nina last week that she's marrying Drew. Nina's like, oh shit, no, 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 no. And so instead of just telling this bitch that Drew ain't shit and that she's fucking him, because everyone, Ava, Drew, everyone was like, you can't do that, can't tell her that. She's like, what you need to do is have a big wedding. The judge not gonna believe it if you just go run off and get married. So what you need to do is have a big wedding. I'm gonna plan it. I'm the mother of the bride. Let's do it. And then she goes and calls every single one of Willow's ops to come destroy this wedding. Girl, Nina is the new Christina on this show because these are dumb plans. These are terrible plans. Like, girl, what are you doing? She calls Carly, and this is how I think that the scene of Nina and Carly fighting, like, months ago, like, right before the nurses' ball, I'm really sure that that's an inserted scene that they filmed, like, super recent, and inserted it in, because it's crazy to me that they're having Carly and Nina interact with each other without Carly bringing up the fact that Nina came to her house, got into a fight with her, and almost bashed her head in with a candle. But then they have the nerve to ask Carly for anything. But Nina asked Carly. Carly's like, what you want me to do? Like, what do you want me to do? Nina's like, listen, if, like, Willow's going to get custody eventually, and, like, if she's married to Drew, that means Drew's going to be around the kids. Carly's really like, I'll handle that shit when it comes to it. Like, what? I don't care about her. I don't care about her. She is a bitch. She's been a bitch to my son, and I don't care about her. I'm sorry. But then immediately does try to get Michael to be like, are you sure? Are you sure you want to keep her from your kids? Because I kept you from AJ, and I'm here to tell you, you did not appreciate it. So You might feel like you're doing the right thing. I know I feel like I was doing the right thing, but I'm here to tell you that you did not appreciate me doing the right thing. And so just keep it in the back of your mind. But Michael's really set because like after Willow goes to talk to Mike or to Nina, she goes to talk to Michael. And Michael had been on the fence. He had been talking to his mom, like, I don't want to keep my kids from their mom. The kids miss their mom. I'm not trying to be that person. But then Willow comes like, hi, like I'm just trying to be just transparent, like total transparency. Like we weren't transparent, and that's what happened to our marriage. What happened to your marriage is that you were having a month-long emotional affair that ends with you banging him on the nursery floor. That's what happened to your marriage. I don't want to hear about not being transparent. But she's like, I'm just trying to be transparent, and I'm here to tell you that I'm marrying Drew. Michael is like, bet. If you marry that man, you will never see our kids again. That's where I'm at. Don't fucking play with me. She's like, you're just a bully. You're always trying to bully me. When did this man bully her? Their whole relationship, when has he bullied her? Like, I'm so, like, the one big thing that he did that she didn't like was he didn't tell her that her mom turned in his mom to the SEC and then tried to dictate the terms in which she could see her mom. That was the one thing he did. And this is after she lied to him about having cancer. And so, but whatever. She's just like, you're just not used to getting your way. Once again, when has Michael ever gotten his way? In this relationship, all she does is lie and flip flop and flip careers and sleep with his uncle. What is she talking about? He's getting like teary eyed and emotional because he's really like, he had just got done telling his mom, like, we didn't even figure out if we could actually fix our fucking marriage before she did this shit. Before she did all this. And so at this point he's like, fuck her. Fuck her. I'm sick of her. And I'm sick of Drew. And they can't have my child. And like, it is so funny to me that people are so sick and tired of Drew and Willow that nobody at all is mad that Michael has this affair baby with Sasha. Like, everybody's so, if anything, they're proud of him. They're like, oh my god, I really thought you were out here being cucked by your uncle, but it turns out you were out here having an affair, making a whole ass baby. Let's go celebrate, kick it with this baby. It is so funny to me. And so everyone goes to the christening. Jocelyn has a scene with Michael where he's like, you're not gonna be the godmother. Well, she's the aunt, so who cares? Like, who cares if she's not the godmother? She still got a role. But they have like, oh my god, like, you're the heart of this family, Michael. And he's like, oh, a lot happened when I've been gone. What's been going on? And she's trying to dance around the fact that she's a spy because, you know, Carly's dating Pikeman. And then Carly and Jason have a whole they have a scene where they're like, oh my god, remember that time we stole Michael and the Qs showed up at the christening and then just blew the place up, just crashed out. That's not gonna happen here. And then homophone Marine Santos crashes out at the christening. And so we're gonna see that on Monday. But the best story this week, it won. It's attached to the Drillo of it all. It is Tracy at the press conference. Like I said last week, Tracy was never gonna say any of the things Martin wanted her to say. I don't know why Martin even thought that. Drew wondered the same thing by the end. But Tracy is like, yes, I'll do this press conference. She calls Brooklyn in. She sets the scene. She's like, Brooklyn, I might have to go do this. And Brooklyn's like, bitch, if it keeps you out of jail, like, who cares? Do what you gotta do. And so, she goes to the press conference. She makes it seem like she gonna do it. And, like, then just crashes the fuck out. Just like, I can't lie to you. He did take the drugs, and he's framing me, and he's a terrible person, and his mom hates him, and so does his family. He's an asshole. It's so funny, because Drew and, like, Martin were, like, bragging beforehand. They're like, yeah, we got that bitch. And then, like, Drew went into her, you know, got in her face, like, yeah, you ready to go down? And Tracy's like, yeah, I bet, sure. And when he introduced her, he was like, she just makes so many mistakes, 8 husbands and shit. Even if she didn't have a way out, you doing all that, she was gonna crash out. Like, I don't even know why Drew was blaming Martin, because, like, you're just as much the reason for the crash out if she didn't have a way out. But essentially what happens is she's talking about how Drew framed her. Martin starts like yelling at her, like he tells Brooklyn, because Brooklyn and Chase are there. He's like, get your grandmother, she's senile. Chase is like, should I handle this? Brooklyn's like, let them fight, let this play out. This bitch got a plan. And so all of a sudden Cody pops up. Hey, hello, it's me. Everyone's like, what the fuck is Cody doing here? What the hell? He's just like, I cannot in good conscience let Miss Quartermain besmirch the name of Congressman Kane. Tracy's like, no, Cody, stop. Martin's such a dummy. He's just like, shut up, bitch. Let him talk. So Cody gets up there and he gives this crazy statement where he's just like, listen, I don't like this man. I don't like this man. Fuck this man. But he didn't frame anybody because the ketamine is mine. It belongs to the horses. Like, we got horses, we got prize winning horses at the queues. And we had to get some ketamine, and I used Tracy's car, and I think like I left a vial in there. I got the receipt, I got all that shit. And so he didn't frame her and she didn't drug him. This is all a misunderstanding. Martin is gagged. He is so mad. Tracy's like, bet, give me the receipt. She's in the crowd, like, boom, got the receipt. Guess who's going free? Martin's like, give me the receipt. I'ma have it authenticated. I don't know why that word was so hard. I don't know why it was very hard, but it was. He's like, I'm gonna have it authenticated. Tracy's like, fuck you. I'm taking this to my fucking lawyer because that bitch accused me of some shit I didn't do. Fuck y'all both. She's like waving it in his face. He lunges at her. She pulls back. He fall off the stage. It is so funny. It is so funny. And so Martin and Drew and unattractive biracial ex-football player go away. Tracy is out here with, oh no, before that, Drew's like, let me take over because this shit's getting crazy. He hops up on stage like, I'm just so happy that my beloved aunt didn't drug me. I was real worried about that. But I'm going to let y'all know, I'm going to find out who did. Because fuck that. Remember, Drew already knows who drugged him because Carly told him and Brad told him. And but whatever. He's like, I'm going to find out who did it. Tracy's like, Brad, look in the mirror. You're who did it. Bet. And so then Martin, Drew, and an unattractive biracial ex-football player leave. Tracy with Brooklyn, she is so funny. She's just like, oh my god, like, I'm just so shocked that Cody made such a mistake. I'm gonna have to forgive him for stealing my car. Brooklyn's like, don't play player. Like, be so fucking for real, granny. Like, so you paid him to lie for you. You paid him to lie on Drew. And he's just all like, nah, Michael did. Because he a real quartermain. A real quartermain get shit done. Excuse me. It's a great scene. But Tracy ends up thanking Cody, and Cody, you know, because she's down to pay him. She's like, what you want, bruh? The checkbook's open. He's like, I don't want anything. This is the best job I ever had. I love this job. And so I was happy to do it because fuck that man. He ain't shit. And Tracy's like, you right. He ain't shit. And this is a great job. And we love you too. And it was just a very cute moment. It was a very cute moment. Then we go back to Drew. Now Drew is furious. He's just like, how fucking, like, Martin, what the fuck? How you let this happen? How you not know that she was gonna do that? Drew, how did you not know she was gonna do that? This Tracy, I would have had her release a statement or something. I would not give her an open forum to just speak. That's crazy. I would have dictated the statement, had her sign it or something. Like, I would have waited until the injunction was lifted and I could use Quartermain. Like, he didn't do anything. Like, you're both dumb. But Drew is essentially like, bruh, you're fired. Get the fuck out. And he had replaced Rick with Martin. And so he's just like, I don't know who about to be his attorney since he fired Martin. Like, are you going back to Rick? No, you def can't go to Alexis or Diane. Maybe Latino son. I don't know. But that'll cause drama between Lucas and Latino son, because Latino son would then be on Drew's side against Lucas's preferred side of Michael. And so I don't know, maybe they'll go that route. Um, but he fires Martin, and that's when, he's like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? Willow is depending on me being a good person to get her kids back. And that is when unattractive biracial ex football player decides to betray Black Hospital. It's not a cute look. It's not a cute look at all. We ended with, because Martin, oh my God, Martin's in his brokey era. But he's at the hospital. Laura, first Rick comes to see him, and he's like, I want to sue Tracy. Like, I'm going to sue that bitch. Rick is like, bro, what you talking about? I watched the video, and she didn't do nothing. Like, she didn't, you lunged at her, and you fell. Like, she not going to do it. He's like, well, I want emotional pain. I want this. I want that. He's like, nah, because Tracy too rich to, like, she'll drag that shit out. He's like, nah, she'll settle. He was like, no, she's too petty. She's too vindictive. She'll drag that shit out until she dies. And then she'll put it in her will that her son and her granddaughter got to keep up the fight for the foreseeable future. So what you talking about? And so he's like, I'm not taking this case. If you want me to take this case, you gotta give me $15,000 right now. Because, like, I need pain and suffering from Tracy to deal with this. And so Martin's like, fine, never mind. And so Liz calls Laura, because that's his emergency contact. That's literally who he lives with. Laura comes, she like runs in, like, oh my God, are you okay? She tries to make him feel better, like, just come home, we'll take care of you, it's gonna be fine. But then after she leaves, the nurse comes in, and she's like, bro, you don't have insurance. Like, you just ordered all these tests, and you don't have any insurance. So good luck with that. But that's pretty much the week. If I forgot some stuff, like, there's a bunch of other podcasts out there that probably didn't, because I'll, like, drop this, and then I'll be like, go watch Sunday Shift, and they'll say, like, 18 storylines I forgot. But I'm already, like, an hour and 16 minutes in, so y'all are done listening to me anyway. But thank you so much. This was very fun. I will be back next week, I like to say. I might disappear into the night again. I cannot lie. Y'all know me. But for the foreseeable future, I'm down to do this. This is fun. So, thank you for listening. If you like this, feel free to like this. If you want to follow me, you can on port_misery on Twitter/X, depending on which generation you fall under. And I'll see you next week. Bye.